What's going on, guys? Ryan with Jedha Patrol back with another video today. Clone Wars Darth Maul's in the house, but the question is, which one is the best? That's right, guys. Ryan back with another video today. Hot off the press, hot toys. Darth Maul from the Clone Wars animated series, although it's in the lifelike, version of it because they're not doing the animated style. But maybe one day we'll get that. But I've got this fresh off the plane and the trucks and all that kind of fun stuff. I got it from Pop Collectibles. If you want to check them out for day one releases, link in the description below. Definitely check them out. There's a discount code down there if you want to save a couple bucks. We've got Clone Wars Darth Maul right here. A figure that they announced at the same time, or I guess it was very similar. They announced Ahsoka and Rex on like the same week or the same day, and I don't remember if Maul was before or after. I feel like he was before. Right? Anyways, regardless, we've got it here. And one of the interesting things about this particular figure, one is the box. It's this tall cylinder box. It's a little weird, and everybody already knows this. I'm not going to tell you anything you don't already know. There's a slipcover here with the Mandalorian sarcophagus in here, and it's fine. It doesn't blow me away. It's not something I'm gonna use in my collection, but some people like it, and that's fine. I don't have an issue if you like it. There's some nice detail on this thing. It's okay. It's a piece of cardboard. I'm not gonna take my $300 figure and put it in here and say, look, here it is in the box. Although some people don't even open their figures; they just buy them for stores. So maybe you're one of those people. You want to display it, but it's all right. It's a freaking box. I don't know. How do you guys feel about this? Really? I feel like they should have spent a little bit more time on the figure, less time on the box. But that's just me. We'll see how it is. So I don't know. I do have Mr. Maul right here. And we're going to spend some time with this guy and look at him versus the Phantom Menace Maul versus the Solo Maul and just kind of compare and contrast a little bit, maybe do a little posing. I just spent a ton of time on that Ahsoka video, so please go check that out. Put a link up there if you want to, please do so. Because honestly, Ahsoka had me way more excited than this particular reason. It might, to be fair, already have two other Darth Mauls. You might have 0 Darth Mauls and are super excited about this, so I'm going to do my best to showcase it for you. My initial impressions, honestly, are it's pretty good. Let's take a look at some of the accessories it comes with. Obviously, we're going to have a display stand that says Maul, or Darth Maul on it, so it's a normal Star Wars base. There's nothing exciting about that. We do have a hood, which is wired, so we'll mess with that. It's a black hood. There's really nothing to... It's a freaking black hood. We have this, which I will have a 0% chance of using, which is a light up function hilt, because you actually have to take the elbow off, which I guess it's weird. It's weird. So here's my gripe, number one, I guess, if I was going to do this. So I have the figure here. And if you want to use the light up function with the saber, you've got to change out the entire arm. But it's not painted the same as the other arm. So if you're going to use the light up function arm, you've got to put the outfit back on him, and you can't use this. So it's kind of like they should have gave us 2 of these, one of them painted to match this. That would have made sense to me, but they got lazy and just gave us this. So you're forced, if you're going to use this, which again, I'm not going to use it because they're super weak. That's just kind of a miss in my book. So we have a clone trooper gauntlet, which is pretty cool. There's no paint on this whatsoever. I mean, it's as far as detail work, you can see like it's just, there's not a whole lot going on with that. Accessory wise, we get our normal blades. We get some little swooshing blades. We get some hands, which we actually get a decent amount of hands, so I don't have too much issue with that. If I can get some of these out of the container real quick. Decent amount of hands, and we get some gauntlets, and we get a crotch grab or a waist support display stand. So, they're okay. There's not a whole lot going on here, guys. This is not a monumental release where this is all stuff we've already seen. The only thing I can think of we haven't seen in here are actually the painted or the ungloved Maul hands. Really, the only thing we haven't seen, and these bright yellow yellowish brownish fingernails, and that's fine too. We get a decent array, so you can do some poses. One thing I will tell you, I absolutely freaking hate on all the Maul figures. When you get this figure, it comes with these gauntlets. It's got it on, right? And inside the gauntlet is these stupid little pleather, whatever the hell these are, okay? They're wrist covers, all right? And these little pleather pieces go into the gauntlet, and they look like this, right? And then your 6 scale peg sticks to there like a nipple, and you attach your hands on them. These are the bane of this figure. So take these out, put them in the box, never to be seen again. It'll make switching out hands so much easier. If you plan on using this, it does come with a red wrist pegs, but I would bet you've got some black wrist pegs somewhere in your accessory bin. If you've got more than one figure, you've got some black wrist pegs. So if you wanted to hide that a little better, change out the red wrist pegs for black wrist pegs, get rid of that little pleather piece and put those on. It'll make your life a lot less stressful because honestly, those things are just a nightmare to deal with. So anyways, yeah, that's that. So let's take a look at the Darth Mauls that we currently have from Hot Toys. One of them obviously going to be Clone Wars Maul. We've got the middle. We got Solo Maul on the right. We got Phantom Menace Maul on the left. For me, huge Star Wars fan, Clone Wars fan, honestly Darth Maul, Ray Park fan. All right, guys, here we go. We've got Darth Maul with the shirt off, robe off, hood off, all that kind of stuff right here in a display that previous to this figure we were not able to actually accomplish because the previous figures did not have all the painted tattoos on the bodies and arms and the option to disrobe him, I guess, is the best phrase I can think of right this second. But this guy right here looks pretty stinking cool. And when I originally saw the figure in the promo photos, I didn't really think I would display it like this. But honestly, after seeing it in person, I kind of dig it. I mean, it just gives us a different variation to display versus the other two that we already have, which we're definitely going to compare shortly. But one of the reasons I wanted to start with this look is because when you get it fresh out of the box, you actually have to take everything off of him to get the plastic bits off. He has a plastic covering over the body, over the arms. You got to take the hands off, and you got to dismantle the entire figure to even use it at all. So I figured if I'm going to be forced to do that anyways, then I might as well just start with that. So we're going to add all the other accessories to him here in just a little bit. But I want to take a look at a couple of different things before we get into that. And maybe get some initial feedback on this guy. But let's go ahead and take a look, first off, at these mechanical robot legs. Now, these are definitely different than we saw with the Solo Maul, which makes sense. These are his, the Clone Wars version of this deal. He no longer, it would be cool if we got the spider legs. Like, that would be a pretty cool Maul variation if they are so inclined to give us that. I'll give you some close-up shots here in just like a second, but this the legs are pretty cool. Definitely posable, definitely no issues, and they're a lot more. They feel like they're more robust and sturdy versus the Solo Maul, which has all the wiring and everything that you don't want to break. Although I have not broke that one yet, but this one just I think they did a fine job with the paint applications are fine. The shading, the weathering, I really don't have much to say other than they did a good job with that. Plenty of mobility. I mean, ball joints everywhere, ratcheted knees, double jointed. I mean, you can do whatever you want to do. If we move up on the figure and go to the pant area, if you will, absolutely zero weathering on this. Zero weathering, which is a little bit of, I don't know. I would like to see some weathering, and maybe I'll just weather my own and add some stuff to it. Maybe we'll go down that road. But got some cargo pants, if you will. It looks fine. It's got a weird, if you have the belt off, which I guess we'll look at maybe a little bit later. If you have the belt off, he actually has like an elastic band to hold his pants up. It's like he's got like grandpa pants or something. That's kind of a weird vibe. So you definitely need the belt, and the belt is accurate. Even though it's a high-waisted belt, the belt look is accurate to the series. And then look at this. Come on. Tell me that's not awesome. That's freaking cool. Head sculpt's great. We'll compare all the head sculpts a little bit later. But I just kind of want to take a look at this. Some people have noted there's a color difference between the head and the body. There is a slight color difference between the head and the body. You can see it right here. And it's not even like the light playing with you. If I can kind of move this light around. It's not even that. It's straight up the head is a little bit darker than the body. So I don't really I don't know why they couldn't match that. It's kind of a weird thing. But you can kind of see it up here. It's it's just a little bit darker than the body, which is kind of strange. The camera might be exaggerating it just a touch. But, if it's on shelf and you don't have like crazy lighting, I think it'll be just fine. But, there's that. So let's go ahead and check out some of the accessories it comes with, and then we'll kind of put some more stuff on this fella and compare him to the previous releases. There wasn't really an option for me not to get the new one, obviously being Clone Wars, but I like all of them. So the question is, like, if you're not going to get all three of them, which one would you prefer to have? And I know a lot of people right now are thinking, well, there's some things about this Clone Wars Maul I don't like. Hot Toys, I've heard some people say Hot Toys has been lazy with this release, which I can appreciate that comment as well. The Solo Maul one is just really, really good, but Phantom Menace, honestly, is pretty good too. So let's just take a couple look at the close-ups on these guys and just get an idea of which one, you might prefer. And for me, I'm going to cheat and just say I like them all. But first up, let's take a look at the Phantom Menace Maul. This one is absolutely gorgeous. We've had it. This is DX17, if I believe, 16. DX16. It's got the one with the speeder bike thing, which I never flip and use. One reason not to get vehicles. I mean, you don't often use them. But this right here, I absolutely love. There are some things I don't like about it. The poofy, like the material didn't downscale very well to 6-scale form. It's almost like the original Kylo, as awesome as that look was. The materials, they didn't choose the right material for it. And that's kind of how I feel about this particular Maul. Is as awesome as he looks, and the head sculpt looks good. And we'll do a close-up of the head sculpts all together in just a little bit. But the material, I felt like, just didn't downscale very well. And honestly, it picks up a lot of lint and dust and just things. So that's one thing. But I kind of dig it. Height-wise, it's pretty on par with the new Clone Wars Maul, which we've got over here. It's pretty on par with that. This, like I was saying a little bit earlier, the difference in hit color and the red on the face versus the body of this guy here, again, it's a little bit more exaggerated in camera. It really isn't like this orangey, fiery red on the body. But it is noticeable. It is a difference. So the tattoos on the face being more sculpted in and versus painted on the body, it's okay. It is what it is. It represents the figure. But in my opinion, because I like to pose these guys, the biggest downfall to this particular Clone Wars Maul has got to be the single joint elbows. It's not a deal breaker for me, but man, I really don't like those. And I understand why they did it, because they wanted to do the whole tattoo thing. But as somebody else also pointed out, why couldn't they do like a fight somebody like what they did with Hellboy? That would have been pretty sweet. Have a little fight somebody, metal endoskeleton, and yeah, that would have been kind of cool. But here it is next to Solo Maul, which a lot of people, and I have reposed it for this because I had him crouching down, but for this, I wanted to give you an idea of height difference on these guys. Pretty similar in height, very similar height. And we'll take a look at head sculpts, and I'm going to say it's pretty much the same freaking head sculpt on DX17 Solo Maul as it is on this Clone Wars Maul. Although this one is definitely a different head sculpt. Kind of dig that one too. But Solo Maul definitely got some interesting features on it. One of which, again, being the outfit. He does have a little bit of the tattoos on the chest, but they don't go to the arms. And then he's got, obviously, the winning portion of this particular figure is going to be down in the robot legs section of both figures, honestly. So the Solo Maul, if you want to check out a full review I did of this, and I did a lot of poses with it, I'll put a link up in the description or down below or somewhere. But the robotic legs on the Solo Maul are far superior in detail to the Clone Wars Maul. However, the Clone Wars Maul feet and legs are accurate to the show. So you can't really fault them for that, right? So if I had to pick one, and if somebody said, how would I pick one over the other? I would pick the one you can get the best deal on, because they're all good. That's where I would kind of go for that. I think Pop Collectibles still has, I don't know when you're watching this, but I think Pop Collectibles still has the Clone Wars Maul in stock, and they're shipping now, so if you want to pick one up from them. But wherever you get it, whether you get it from a retailer or a reseller or an individual or whatever, any of the Mauls are good figures. The biggest pain in the butt with any of these figures is honestly, it's not even the double jointed hands or the double jointed elbows. It's the hands because of the attachments and the way they attach those gauntlet style deal. That's the biggest pain in the butt. Honestly, it's just that. All right, let's take a look at these head sculpts. We've got the two Phantom Menace sculpts on the left, a little lower because I'm using the gauntlets. So that's not because they're smaller. It's just I'm using gauntlets to stand them up. We've got Clone Wars Maul in the middle and Solo Maul on the far right. So you can see there's a pretty significant difference between all of the head sculpts. The one of obviously a fan favorite is definitely going to be the screaming head sculpt of Phantom Menace Maul. You know, I dig that one. It's definitely a younger one. You can see all of them have the movable eyes, and you can see where I've had them posed up in looking in different directions. But generally, I think Maul looks good looking off to his left. It's kind of why I've got Clone Wars Maul kind of doing that. And then we've got the Solo Maul there on the right. So if we were to take a look at these two head sculpts, the Solo Maul and the Clone Wars Maul, they're exactly the same, guys. Like Hot Toys didn't even try. That's a different shade of red because they mixed it differently this time versus the last time. It's the same sculpt. The paint application on the horns on Clone Wars Maul is a little bit more gray dark versus a more vibrant yellowish, brownish, orangish hue on the Solo version. But all in all, for all intents and purposes, it's the exact same sculpt. So Hot Toys, like what gives? Why'd you get lazy on us? So we've got a single joint body, we've got reused head sculpt, and I mean the accessories are we get a box. I mean there's not a whole lot going on there. So you know, if you have the Solo Maul, do you need the Clone Wars Maul? Oh, man, only you can decide that one. But for me, it was a yes because you know Darth Maul. But the head sculpt wise, they all look pretty good, right? They all look good. They've got their characteristics. The younger one from the Phantom Menace still holds up today. I think it's just fine. But, you know, am I blown away by this release? Not really. I'm happy to have it, but I'm not really blown away by it. All right, let's talk about these two characters together on the display and how you might want to have them post up. So obviously we got the new Clone Wars Ahsoka that was just released just a week prior to this one, actually. And then we got this Darth Maul figure from Clone Wars. And honestly, they match perfectly because they're both from Season 7. They look great together. There are some, difficulties with Maul. We definitely won't talk about that. But overall, it's a pretty solid release. Is it my favorite Maul? Yeah, probably not. Probably not my favorite Maul. And a couple of reasons for that. One, the single joint elbows just drive me insane. Don't like that at all. Two, the Solo Maul robotic legs are just so much more interesting than this one. Even though this is Clone Wars accurate. So I'm not discounting this for accuracy. I'm not discounting for that at all. But there are a couple little things. So one, while I was posing this particular Maul, and this is something you may run into, his right arm, the one that's bent right there, that one right there, which is meant for the light up effect. So that it's got that little switch out arm. I think I talked about earlier how it's not tattooed, so you can't really display with the arm, the clothing off. But anyways, that one, while you're posing it, that one, because it comes out via that joint, I guess it will, the mechanism, it comes out easily. I don't say easily. When you're posing that arm, you got to be careful that's going to come out underneath the shirt. And that's kind of annoying. So, how often are you going to do that? I don't know. I just noticed it with mine because I've been messing around with it. So if that happens to you, don't be freaked out. Just, peg it back in just like you would a wrist joint or foot or whatever. And it should be fine. But just know that it's probably going to happen if you got that going on. The second thing I really am a little disappointed with, I guess, if you will, is the fact that we have the exact same head sculpt from the Solo Maul. I mean, to the T, same sculpt, same everything. It feels like Hot Toys could have released this figure way earlier if they're just going to reuse parts. I don't know why I don't know. It doesn't, it is what it is, right? I'm happy to have it, but I had to say, if you had one Maul in your collection, it would probably be the Solo Maul. Probably that one. It's just way cool. But that being said, like I said earlier, I'm happy to have both in my collection. So, because obviously together with Ahsoka, they look quite fantastic. The cardboard box, you know, that's a throwaway item for me. I don't really care about that. Some people might be super excited for that, and that's fine. For me, it's a throwaway item. It's going to go in storage. I'll never see it again. And yeah, it's just kind of a whatever. But this particular figure, posing wise, I do like the wardrobe because it is accurate to the show, right? So I do like that. I like the feet. They're just not as interesting as the Solo Maul feet. And that's fair. I mean, it's design choice right there. But these two together, they look pretty stinking good.